Hey guys, it's Kelly. Welcome back to the channel of chilled, relaxed plant content where we just try our best. So if that's something you can relate to or you just want to do some planty stuff, hit the subscribe button. Let's be plant friends. So we're going to talk about plants that I have in my collection now that I wouldn't buy again. I'm not going to bring them to you. I'm actually going to take like some B-roll and show you them as I talk about them because, yeah, I don't know. I wanted to really like having them. I was excited when I got them, but as I grow them out, they're just not living up to my expectations, or I don't have the plant care necessary for these types of plants, or whatever it is. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Grab a snack, grab a drink, come hang out, and let's complain about some of the plants that don't do what we want them to do, or just are disappointing us. Alright, the first plant I love. I really do love them, but they're too high maintenance for me. And those are the Tradescantias. So these guys, they're relatively easy care. They are. But they die back a lot, and then you gotta take off the dead leaves, and then you gotta restart them, and like they're constantly having to be restarted, and I don't have it in me to keep doing that. I really don't. So I have a couple of varieties. They're here and there in my house. I think what I'm gonna do this summer is take a couple of cuttings of each kind and then plant them outside, the real plant, and then just leave them out there for the winter. They're not gonna survive the winter, I know that already, but I think maybe I'll do a little bouquet of Tradescantia, and I'll just keep it real small and simple in one little jar. I think that would suffice my little Tradescantia desires without overwhelming me with the maintenance of that plant and keeping it pretty looking. Alright, the next plant on my list that I don't think I would buy again is the Philodendron Gloriosum. I know people are probably upset about that, but I don't think I like crawling philodendrons. I don't really like the bush philodendrons, and I've kind of learned I'm not a big fan of the crawling philodendrons. They get weird. They're hard to manage. You can't really put them on a pole or like a little stick to kind of keep them more vertical, you know, and so they kind of take up a lot of space that I don't have. And the Gloriosum I think it's the Splendid, and it's a vertical growing plant. It's like a vertical vining plant of philodendron that looks very similar to the Gloriosum. So I might give away the Gloriosum and get a Splendid, but who knows? Who really knows? So I probably wouldn't buy a Gloriosum again, or probably any trail climbing or any crawling philodendron. It's late, guys. I'm tired. My brain hurts, but we're gonna keep going. So yeah, the next plant that I would not buy again is the Philodendron Melanochrysum. They just drop leaves really easy, like really easy. And right now I think mine's like just a stick. It's just all stem. I think all of the leaves have crisped off and died. The stem looks good. You know, I think it's pushing out a leaf all the way up at the top, but it's not the plant I thought it would be. So I wouldn't buy it again. If that guy goes, then he stays gone. But we'll keep watering the stem and see what happens. I'll probably end up rotting it eventually and it'll die, but you know, that'll be it. Alright, so I love my begonias, right? My cane begonias. I love them. I do. There is one in my collection that I wouldn't buy again. I think all of the other ones I would pursue and look for again. But the Begonia Serenity, it's a thinner leafed begonia, and again, it drops leaves really easily. And I am a chronic underwaterer. I try not to be, but I'm not perfect. So that begonia tends to drop leaves. I will say it does look very pretty when the leaf is dying. It comes out like an orangey, pinkish ombre type of leaf, and it looks really good next to all of like the healthy leaves. But I know those leaves are dying, and it's you know, eventually I think that plant is also gonna die, and I don't think I would buy that plant again. No. All right, another plant in my collection, I don't think any of you would be surprised, is the Philodendron Brandtianum. That plant, I don't know anybody who can grow that plant well. Like, they just can't. Maybe that has to be just a strictly water type of plant, because I think it just needs too much humidity. Too much than like I could give it. Anybody else on the internet that I've seen have it can give it. I don't know. Maybe it's just a terrarium type of plant. If you guys have a Philodendron Brandtianum and it looks good and it's growing well, please send me some pictures. Go to my Instagram, DM me, send me pictures, and let me just drool at your plant. And then, you know, when my Brandtianum eventually dies, because I'm pretty sure that one is on its way out, I could just look at your pictures and love the Brandtianum from afar. All right, the Scindapsus Treubii dark form. I want to love that plant. I do, and I really do like it. But it is such a slow growing plant. Oh my goodness. If you think the moonlight is slow, the dark form is even slower, which makes no sense to me. I would think that plant would grow faster because it's, you know, it's like a darker green. It should have more chlorophyll, be able to photosynthesize more, make more energy, grow faster, but it doesn't. And maybe it's just my cutting that I have, but I'm pretty sure I'm down to like one leaf. I think it's starting to yellow. I'm pretty sure I'm killing that plant, and I'm not gonna buy it again. I'm just not. I'm throwing in the towel. No, I won't do it. No, I'll stick to the Scindapsus that like to live with me, and the ones that don't can go. The Philodendron Burle Marx. Although I really do like this plant, I like my plant. I got it from a trade. I don't like the growth pattern of mine. It wants to sprawl out, and I don't have space for it. So I don't see myself ever buying that plant again. I do see myself like chopping and propagating to make it fuller, but I won't like buy it again to try to make it fuller. But I do like the plant overall. It's just, I wouldn't buy it again, you know. The next plant, Hoya Danumensis. OMG, I've had this plant for like 4 years. It's right here. This one I will bring to you. This is it. It has looked like this for 4 years. Has not put out new growth, nothing. This is the last leaf it gave me probably like 2 years ago. It's chlorotic. It put out this long runner over the winter, and it has done nothing with it. The leaves it just doesn't do anything. It's kind of, I won't say it's like a really thin Hoya, leafed Hoya. It's like a medium thickness Hoya, but it just does nothing. It does nothing. And I would not buy this plant again. I've come to realize that in my planthood, it also has mealybugs. That's another reason. Why? Maybe that's why it won't grow. But I'm constantly cleaning this off from mealybugs and everything else. It's only got 6 leaves. So like really, it's not hard to get mealies off of it. But sometimes they always come back. I put like systemic in the soil, everything. But yeah, I've come to realize that I only want plants in my collection that are going to grow well and are relatively resilient to my underwatering neglect. And I guess this guy he's not. He just isn't. So yeah, I wouldn't buy him again. I wouldn't even recommend him to other people. I will say, if you can grow this, the flowers are really pretty, but can you grow it is the question. So yeah. All right, the next plant is Sanseveria Fernwood. It's just a slow growing plant. It doesn't like catch my eye like the other snake plants or Sanseverias that I have do. It's just like a very like boring Sanseveria to me. I don't know. And it kind of sprawls out. It takes up a lot of space. It's very slow growing for me. I'm going to put mine outside this year, see what happens. I won't kill it. I'll bring it in for the winter, but yeah, if it does go, I'm not buying another one. I think I'm just going to stick to my one main Sanseveria plant, my big bowl, And then, you know, a couple outliers here and there, but the Fernwood is just not, it's just not as, I don't know, I'm not excited to see it, you know? So I wouldn't buy it again. I wouldn't recommend it either. There are other Sanseverias that are cooler, and you should look into those. So, yeah. Alright, the last plant on my list is the goldfish plant. Yeah, it's very underwhelming. It kind of just looks like a bush. I don't get like too many blooms out of it. It's always like one, maybe two, and they're like somehow behind the plant, and like you can't really see the blooms where, you know, I have my plant positioned, and maybe that's because of where I have my plant positioned. But it's just very underwhelming. I have a couple of varieties in a pot, and it just is boring. It looks like a bush that I would find outside. And although I appreciate bushes outside and stuff and trees, I want more of like a tropical vibe in my house, and I don't know. I'm not into bushy type of plants. Like the bushy philodendrons, the bushy goldfish plant. It's not my thing. So, yeah. Alrighty guys, so those are the 10 plants that I have in my collection currently that I would not buy again, or maybe recommend either to you guys. But let me know in the comments below if you agree or disagree, and on which plant. And if you have any tips or tricks for the plants that I'm struggling with, please let me know. And maybe I would appreciate these plants or just enjoy them more. But until next time, relax, plants, peace out.